AMCA, an Indian program to develop a fifth generation stealth multi-role combat aircraft for Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy, which will also include sixth generation technologies. The design of the aircraft is carried out by ADA, that is Aeronautical Development Agency of Defense Research and Defense Organization, that is DRDO. It is expected to be produced by a public-private joint venture between the DRDO, Hindustan Aeronautics HAL, and an Indian private company. The development cost is estimated to be around 2 billion. As of February 2023, DRDO has completed design of AMCA and is waiting for critical design review, which according to the Indian Express is a technical review to ensure the system of an aircraft can proceed into fabrication, demonstration and test and can meet performance requirements. With AMCA, India looks set to become only the fourth country to launch an indigenously produced stealth fighter aircraft. However, Turkey is also aggressively pursuing its own fifth generation aircraft known as TFX that shares almost the same timeline of launch as Indian AMCA. Then South Korean KF-21 and European Union's Tempest and FCAS are also developing fifth generation fighter jets. For the IAF, which has only 30 to 32 fighter squadrons as of now, the AMCA program is crucial. The service will not be able to attain the sanctioned size of 42 squadrons in next 10 to 15 years, despite the 36 planes built in France, as previously stated by Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary. AMCA will be a 25-ton aircraft with an internal payload of 1500 kg and an external payload of 5500 kg in addition to 6500 kg of internal fuel. The Indian Air Force is said to have committed 40 AMCA M1 fighters and at least 100 AMCA 2 derivatives as well as some unmanned variants. The advanced medium combat aircraft AMCA would be stealthy and have super cruise capabilities. AMCA will assure India's entry into the elite club of countries with fifth generation stealth planes. Only F-35, F-22 Raptors from United States, Su-57 Phelan from Russia and J-20 from China are operational fifth generation aircraft as of now. The maiden flight of AMCA is scheduled for 2024 to 25, with series production beginning in 2030, while the development agency believes that after 4 years of flight testing, the period can be shortened by 22, 28 to 29. In February this year, R. Madhavan, chairman of state-owned HAL, had said that the company was employing a special purpose vehicle model with private partners to produce the next generation AMCA and Indian multi-role helicopter. While the HAL and ADA will handle the design and development, commercial license will be commercial defense companies, while HAL and ADA will handle the design and development. Commercial defense companies could be involved in the production of the combat jet. The advanced stealth fighter will be a multi-role fighter capable of air dominance, ground strike, enemy air defense suppression, and electronic warfare tasks. India is getting closer to realizing its dream of developing its own fifth generation combat aircraft with its consistent push for self-reliance. The much touted AMCA stealth fighter jet program, which has until now been on drawing board, is now getting ready to enter the production stage. In a landmark development, India's Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO recently to Twitter to announce the probable metal cutting for first prototype of India's next generation fighter jet, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. The official handle of DRDO tweeted, based on the design of ADA and DRDO, the fabrication of leading edge of AMCA initiated at HAL with special material for fifth generation design. The unit will undergo structural and other testing before putting it on the first prototype, an important milestone for AMCA. Let's discuss the special points of AMCA. First is propulsion. The most significant difference between AMCA MK1 and AMCA MK2 is going to be of the engine used in the aircraft. AMCA MK1 will be powered by 2XG F414 IN6 variant with better fuel efficiency, a higher thrust of around 100 plus uh, Newton per engine, and a full authority digital and engine control system. The engine regarding MK, MK2 is often under debate. India has decided to develop the engine of MK2 as 110 plus kilonewton class engine under a joint venture with either a British Rolls-Royce, French Rafale, or GE of USA. Although it was expected that joint venture would be between DRDO and Rolls-Royce due to their previous experience in production of high-power engine like EJ200, which powers Eurofighters Typhoon. In fact, it's less known thing that even for Tejas Mk2, the Rolls-Royce presented their EJ200 with thrust vectoring control, better thrust and more fuel efficiency, but was defeated by bid presented by General Electronics. Further, UK also require an engine for their sixth generation aircraft program, and MK MK2 would also be a similar class of aircraft, so there existed very high chance for a co-development of engine between both UK and India. The weapon package. The AMCA will have two modes. One will be stealthy, where all the weapons would be carried in an internal weapon bay located in middle fuselage of aircraft, or the non-stealthy mode of weapons would be able to be externally loaded in 14 hardpoints. AMCA would be able to fit 4 beyond visual range missiles in its internal carriage, or a combination of BVR missile and ground mission according to its mission. The internal carriage of weapon is a distinct feature of fifth generation aircraft. It allows the plane to maintain stillness by not letting the electromagnetic waves of radar bounce back from its external weapon load that the aircraft used to carry. This is a major drawback of fourth generation aircraft too, as the aircraft like Dassault or Rafale has almost achieved everything a fifth generation aircraft can do, varying from comparatively stealthy structure to advanced electronic warfare and avionics that indeed provide them advantage. But the moment these aircrafts are loaded with external weapons, their RCS shot up, hence making them relatively more vulnerable to enemy's radar. AMCA can also be loaded with external payload where the mission supports more weapon over stealth. This is usually done to provide cover to other aircraft. The weapon pack would be complete indigenous, varying from Astra series of missiles for air-to-air defense role or BrahMos NG, Rudram series of missiles, DRDO SAAW, and other lesser guided bombs that would be eventually clear after some time for the air, ground, and said SEAD, suppression of enemy air defense mission. The weapon that is really going to be deadly is under development. That is the SFDR. That is a based Astra Mk3 with a maximum range of 350 km, highest in the world. From high altitude and expected no escape zone of 150 km. Even a combination of such four missiles in internal carriage would be fatal for enemy. The weapon like BrahMos NG and Rudram 123 would really make a deep strike into enemy territory a cakewalk for aircraft. The AMCA is further expected to be loaded with directed energy weapons and upcoming futuristic weapons of the feature in the AMCA MK2 variant. The stealth features. The MCA will be feature a structurally stealthy design with extensive use of composite radar absorbent material and infrared paint. The radar absorbent material absorbs the electromagnetic wave falling towards aircraft and prevents reflection back to the radar, which in turn doesn't allow the aircraft to be detected or tracked easily. The infrared paint helps to reduce the thermal emission from aircraft, making it difficult for infrared guided missile to lock on the aircraft. The aircraft structure also has an S-shaped intake, somewhat similar to that in Dassault Rafale. The S-shaped intake prevents the direct exposure to aircraft engine blade to electromagnetic wave of radar that makes it difficult for any radar to detect the aircraft, as most of the reflection of these radars are made from engine of the aircraft. The internal weapon bay and exhaust of aircraft also have a serrated pattern, again to reduce the chance of detection by diverting the electromagnetic wave in such a way that they don't directly bounce back to the emanating source. Radar and situational awareness. The AMCA is expected to use a modified version of Uttam radar with more transmitting and receiving modules. The special thing here would be that this radar would be based on gallium nitride based semiconductors. The X band gallium nitride radar being used in AMCA will allow it to handle more peak power result, can generate strong electromagnetic signals which can identify objects at a much higher distance. Further, the gallium nitride based radar has a low signal to noise ratio and higher gain, which would allow the aircraft to detect even the weakest of the reflected signal from enemy aircraft. The reason why such radars are called stealth killer. What makes India's fifth generation aircraft different? The AMCA is going to be world's first 5.5 or fifth generation aircraft, which means that it will be expected to have better features than the current operational fifth generation aircrafts. The project director of AMCA one said that the aircraft is completely designed as per requirement of Indian Air Force, and unlike the fifth generation aircraft, some of them being better in stealth, lack cost efficiency and maneuverability of those who are better in maneuverability but lack stealth. The MK is perfectly designed in a way that it doesn't compensate on any feature. India's ambitious effort to build an indigenous fifth generation fighter development project is set to complete the critical design review by December, and project approval from Cabinet Committee on Security is expected soon after that. Once the project sanction is received, the first prototype can be rolled out in 3 years, and the first flight in 1 to half and half year after that, said Dr. A.K. Ghosh, project director of AMCA, speaking at a Defense Expo 2022 last week. The AMCA is envisaged as 25-ton twin-engine stealth aircraft with internal weapon bay and diverterless supersonic intake, which has been developed in India for the first time. It is intended to carry internal carriage of 1500 kg. The development of MK is to be carried out in two phases, MK1 and MK2. MK1 with a GE414 engine and MK2 with indigenous engine. The LC MK2 is 1350 longer, features ring canards and carry a payload of 6500 compared to 3500 kg by MK1. The MK2 will be powered with indigenously developed engine, and government of India is planning to get collaboration of either uh, General Electrics of America, Safran of France, or Rolls-Royce of UK. The US has renewed its 2019 offer to jointly develop the AMCA jet engine with India, citing export control concerns. The US has revived an offer to cooperate with India on the development of jet engine technology, which could be used to power the Mk2 variant of India's futuristic advanced medium combat aircraft AMCA. The General Electric of US, one of the world's leading manufacturers of jet engines, has submitted a proposal for the co-development of 110 kilonewton thrust engine with the Indian agencies for stealth fighter. Technologies developed for a 116 kilonewton thrust derivative of G4 F414 engine will be baseline in this offer of cooperation. All technologies previously asked for by the Government of India will be offered. Kim announced India had earlier sought the core engine or hot section technology for jet engines under the India-US Defense Trade and Technology Initiative, but was turned down by US. That effort failed after US cited export control concerns in transferring this technology. A joint working group on jet engine technology under the DTTI framework was thereafter disbanded in 2019. The turnaround by the US now is total and coincides with the two ongoing Indian fighter jet procurement from the global market and take up stage in the indigenous development production of potentially hundreds of fighter jets over the next 2 decades. So, what drove the US capitulation? The defense relations with India is strategically important for US. Industry watchers said US about done as a bid to retain its lead in powering India's indigenous fighter jet program, a position it does not wish to concede to European engine makers. The light compact aircraft LC Tejas is powered by GF404 engine, which has 85 kN thrust. India's uh, Aeronautical Development Agency (ADA) plans for Tejas Mark II, Mk2, AMCA fifth generation fighter aircraft and twin engine deck based fighter TDBF are also closely woven around the 98 kilonewton thrust of GF414 engine. Several hundreds of these aircraft will be produced. Only when the AMCA program matures to make Mk2 level does the ADA envisage switching from a GF414 to an indigenous engine with higher 110 kilonewton thrust. What is the development that engine that India is seeking foreign collaboration? The AMCA MK2 production timeline commences around 2035. ADA also plans powering subsequent batches of 26 ton TEDBF with the same indigenous engine as AMCA. The revival of JBID to co-develop the AMCA engine coincides with the development of an enhanced performance engine